Today on 2+U Nevada.
It has enabled us to expand more fruits and vegetables, more meat products, more dairy products.
6 years in the making. Today, Catholic Charities of Northern Nevada opens their new downtown St. Vincent's Client Choice Pantry.
So what you feel is like a dimpling effect when you gently squeeze it.
And Tony Fianacca of Sparks Florist tells us how to spot a new and an older rose, just in time for those Valentine's bouquets. Plus,
I wanted to do something with the money, but I didn't know what to do with it then.
one teacher turns her personal tragedy into the kindest project, and it's spreading across the United States. You're watching 2+U Nevada. It's home
Put everything back in your house the way you like it.
with community and family. And this really is a family affair. It's local food.
I got garlic in mine, capers.
It's health and wellness. Plus,
But we
you
don't have these, and we could be using them.
with plenty of entertainment. 2+U Nevada, brought to you by 911 Restoration. Thank you for joining us for this edition of 2+U Nevada. I'm Sarah Johns, your host. Hope you had the best weekend. We went to Auburn to spend time with my folks and got back to a whirlwind because this week, is dress up week at my kids' school. It's all Valentine's Day themed, so I'm having to get creative. Today was Twin Day. Now, luckily, we had just purchased family t-shirts at Buc-ee's in Texas on our massive road trip. Otherwise, I'd have been out of luck with outfits. But speaking of Valentine's Day, it is time to start prepping for your loved ones. And Tony from Sparks Florist has some great information on picking out flowers for your sweetheart. So don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us today for 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. Joining us again this afternoon, Tony Fianacca, one of the owners of Sparks Florist. Tony, always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me back, Sarah. I really appreciate it so much.
You are so fun.
I know. I get to bring all the fun things to look at. And
It smells good.
I know, right? And it's getting close to Valentine's Day, so we got some really lovely, rich colors going on here. Of course, lots of roses.
Yes.
But I wanted to take a second to kind of show you some of the things we're offering. And these arrangements specifically that I brought here today are going to be part of a special we're offering on the 9th and 10th. If you purchase any one of these flower arrangements, you can have it delivered for free within the Reno Sparks area, which I think is a great deal. So we really wanted to take the opportunity to encourage people to send flowers to your loved ones early. And you could say something on the card like, I just couldn't wait until the 14th, which is always a winner.
Right.
But most
Look
people,
at you.
I know.
You must be
See, it's
you
like I
must
know these things. But no, so I mean, it's great because then everybody in the office gets to see, and your loved one gets to be that special person that receives it nice and early.
That's awesome. And I love the free delivery, and I love the variations of these beautiful arrangements that you have. Like, this is a beautiful bouquet, but I love the shape of this.
I know. So when we're trying to develop and design these arrangements, we really are trying to think about where they're going to be going. And a lot of these are going to offices, and a lot of times people don't have a lot of room on their desk. So we're trying to create things that have a lot of texture, have a lot of color, have a really beautiful fragrance, but also are manageable. So you could, take it home with you easily.
Yep.
And we really try to pay attention to those sorts of things. If you do decide that you want to have us deliver it early, make sure you use the code EARLYBIRD on our website or in store, and we'll take care of it for you. But yeah, some of the other things we offer. So we have some wonderful chocolates, and my wife went to school to learn to be a pastry chef. And so she helped handpick these out. We work with Champagne and Chocolates, or also Chocolate Nuggets, the same company. And they make these delicious truffles, delicious chocolate boxes. You really can't be upset by them. They're really quite good. And then another really popular thing we offer, we have Jellycat. We're an authorized dealer of Jellycat in town.
Oh gosh, we are learning all about Jellycat.
They're crazy. And it seems like every single time I bring in one that's super playful, and I'm like, I don't know, like I like it, but I don't know if anybody else, they're gone.
Yep.
So fast.
Because your kids are loving them and
so
everyone
much.
else is loving them. Yeah.
And I mean, for Valentine's Day, we have a really cool Valentine's dragon.
I love the dragon.
I know.
And it's
Isn't it cool?
soft. This is one of those that you could just like cuddle with. I love it.
I know. Always popular. We have one of our bunnies with a rose. We even have a small rose bouquet. So, if you're super allergic or, maybe wanted sunflowers but didn't want the pollen,
Yes.
this would be the guy for you.
Okay.
As you can see, lots of fun little things you can choose here.
I absolutely love this. And I do want to go back because I love how you were explaining your wife and how she is a real connoisseur of chocolate. But this champagne and chocolate, this is local too.
Yeah.
So you're also supporting not just a locally owned Sparks Florist, but you're supporting locally owned and manufactured the champagne and chocolate. Of course, they have the restaurant that's there in, what is that, Plumgate, I think, Plum in Arlington. I'm going off memory. Yeah. So, and then also the chocolate nugget.
Yeah, they're the same company.
Same company.
And they hand make all of their chocolates. So they don't actually use like the classic machines to form everything. They make it by hand. And that really takes a bit of artisan work and really a lot of knowledge. So we really appreciate the quality. And what we strive for in our business is to really produce quality materials for people. So that's why we're showing you all these different things, all the beautiful flowers. We're picking from the best farms, best chocolate we can possibly get, some of the best little accessories.
Speaking of the best and the best farms and providing the best flowers, you're going to teach us how to tell if a rose is on the verge of dying or if it's fresh.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people have a misconception. They'll look at a rose and they'll see it really open and they'll wonder like, okay, well, how old is that rose, right? Well, a really easy test is I want you to go ahead and look at this rose. This is called a freedom rose. Okay. And if you just gently squeeze it down here towards the base of the petals and feel how firm that is.
Oh, yeah.
So now I brought another rose. This one, I've actually had it out for a bit, for a couple of days out of the cooler, and really in preparation for our.
Oh, you can feel it's wilty.
Well, it's open. The petal structure is actually opened up. So what you feel is like a dimpling effect when you gently squeeze it. You feel the space in between all the petals.
Yes, it feels almost like a little bubble.
Exactly. So that's a really simple way to tell whether or not your rose is newer or older.
And then this feels like you're almost like pinching a grape.
Yeah.
If that's a better way. Like
exactly.
It's like you're pinching
more solid,
a
more firm.
grape. Right. And then this, it feels like more like a raspberry. You know what I mean? Like a little bit soft, like just to try and get people at home to understand what I'm feeling difference.
Yeah, and what's interesting about each of these roses, every single rose variety is developed, by scientists. They actually build out, millions of different cultivars, and then they whittle them down to just a few that they actually put to market. And they try to breed them based upon different characteristics. So some of those characteristics are having lots of petals, being very fragrant, having a lot of color, or even being disease resistant. So depending on how you change the DNA of the flower, some of these characteristics become more prominent or less prominent. And so like the classic Freedom Rose is a really good performer, although they don't open super wide. They actually stay relatively closed, and that's one of the features, one of the characteristics they've bred upon. Whereas when we look at this soft pink rose, it's called a Ragazza, they tend to open up a lot more. And so they become a lot more open relatively fast.
Oh, wow.
And so if we leave it outside of a cooler, you'll get this sort of effect. And that doesn't mean necessarily that the flower is bad. It just means that it has had time to open. And so that's an easy way that you can tell.
And less time to live.
Well, yeah, exactly. So when we put flowers in a cooler, we're essentially putting them in stasis. So that way they can survive longer in your home because their metabolic systems all but stop once we put them in a cooler, assuming that it's in the right temperature range.
Well, Tony, thank you so much. We are at time, so I just want to remind folks at home, early bird is the code.
It is. It's the word.
Is the word.
I know, sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Thank you so much, Tony, for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely.
You're watching 2+ Nevada.
You are watching 2+ Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, Marie Baxter with Catholic Charities Northern Nevada with a huge announcement. Today is a big day for you.
It is. So after about 6 years of planning, we have finally relocated the St. Vincent's Food Pantry to a larger space that has a client choice pantry, and which mirrors what we have on Moana and Sun Valley and Winnemucca. And it's a game changer, but it is also day one, so it's lots of action.
So let's talk about this, because if anybody knows that 4th and Valley location that you have, it's always been, for lack of better terms, crazy busy because there is so much need. But at that location, aside from the food pantry, you have the thrift store and you have the dining room. And so now you were just explaining to me that food pantry is actually no longer going to be at 4th and Valley, and it's solely at this new location.
That is correct. So we were able to move from roughly 7,000 square feet to 25,000 square feet. And the front half of the big warehouse is a client choice pantry where, you know, you get your shopping cart, there's so much dignity, you pick and choose what you want, but it has enabled us to expand more fruits and vegetables, more meat products, more dairy products. So it's more like coming to a grocery store than our traditional 4th and Valley, which was here's your box, and it may or may not have been things that worked for you.
So this is crazy because I actually have toured 4th and Valley, and I mean, you had a big warehouse of food. So all that food has since moved as well?
100%.
So there is no food, well,
outside of the St. Vincent's dining room.
Right, outside of the dining room, but for people to get their needed supplemental food, they now go to, what's the location?
So it's 435 Eureka Avenue. It's about a block down from our big location at 4th and Valley, and it's really fabulous. You come in, it's set up the same. Essentials closet is also moved there, so the food, non-food items like diapers and clothing and toiletries and all those. So it's a one-stop shop in a much larger location.
Is the donation drop-off there now too?
No, it's still, so what we are doing with our existing building at the corner of 4th and Valley is we're extending the thrift store. So it's still where we accept donations. It's going to be fully retail on the bottom floor of the 4th and Valley big building.
Yep.
And then we'll have St. Marguerite Support Services is still there. So our case management, social work, largely because that's just a good location for them. But what really drove this was two things. One, we needed to move and have more thrift retail space because the community has been so generous. But on top of that, we had limited hours at the corner of 4th and Valley because of the thrift store. So now in the new Client Choice Pantry, 5 days a week from 9 to noon, 1 to 3, and of course, and all days on Fridays as well. Whereas we were half days during the regular time at 4th and Valley and then only open on Friday.
Wow. Okay. And then also today is the first day, and you've been out there since 5 o'clock this morning, if not earlier than that. So we know that today is going to be kind of the crazy day, but what do you want this to look like? Will people still line up outside? Is there parking? Kind of talk about that component.
So our goal is to be able to sort of, spread people out, more days, more hours, and it's the same high quality items, whether you come today at 9 o'clock in the morning or you come Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. So we're trying to get people to understand, like, you don't have to be there first thing in the morning. Don't line up in the cold. There's plenty of food for everybody. Parking is complicated. We're in that downtown innovation zone. So there is no parking anywhere in that area for any business. So there's lots of street parking. People can, walk over from the, the various places. We're asking them, be kind to our neighbors. Don't park in front of their locations. But now that we have 6 hours a day, 5 days a week downtown, and we're still close to the bus station, people should be able to come at a more convenient time. Plus, they can still go to Moana, they can still go to Sun Valley. So they don't have to come to downtown Reno to get the same quality foods.
What does this look like for the volunteer experience too? Because the square footage that you just said, that's a massive growth. So, and is it filled with food?
It's full of food and non-food items for the essentials closet. It's astounding. Like within a week, I think Carlos had the thing full.
Wow.
So we have lots of food. And we moved our freezers and our refrigerators, but our volunteers are loving this. And so what they do is each volunteer has a station that they sort of work within the Client Choice Pantry. So depending on your family size, this rack you might be able to pick 5 items. This rack you might be able to pick 3 items. items. The freezers, you might be able to pick up to 6 items, whatever it is based on family size. So we have volunteers stationed at each of those places to help make that experience more accessible and friendly. But my favorite part is when you have families with their shopping carts and their kids are in them, their kids don't even know they're in a food pantry. It feels like a grocery store, and that's very uplifting.
It really is, because right now, for anybody having to pick between paying a credit card or paying a car payment
Or
or
rent.
paying their power or rent, don't get me started. You know what I mean? And to have this as a place, you know, there's no shame in asking for help and getting that help.
And we know we're going to have about 25,000 people statewide that are going to lose their SNAP benefits with all the changes that have been coming to SNAP. We've been talking about on your show actually since November 1st. So there are going to be more and more people leaning in on food pantries than we've ever seen before. So the more dignified, the more accessible we can make it, you know, the more we're going to make sure people get the food they need.
And it's amazing that you've been planning this for 6 years. Like, this is something that you have wanted for 6 years, and now you take a look at the need that has just been, it's been a wave of need the past couple months. The timing couldn't be better.
Yeah, I think there was some divine intervention.
Yeah. And with that, Marie Baxter with Catholic Charities, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank you.
afternoon. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, we have Brian Bosma, the Executive Director of Family Respite Care, formerly known as RAVE. And Brian, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
I am so excited to be here and talk about all the wonderful things our organization is up to in the last 30 years.
I can't believe it. You just said 30 years. Well, used to be known as RAVE, rebranded into Family Respite Care of Nevada. So forgive me if I stumble over my words, but I cannot get over the phenomenal work that you do. And I can't get over that it's been 30 years.
It's been 30 years. We provided over 300,000 hours of respite care for children with disabilities, ages 3 months all the way up to 28 years old. And I have to say, the center is all about fun. And one of the kiddos made you this bracelet that they wanted to give to you. To kind of showcase our love, and thank you again for having us on today.
Thank you so much. Here, and it says love. Can you see that? And my husband's going to love it because it's in the Chiefs colors.
Oh, no.
So
Okay.
I know. And their record is 6-7 right now, but we won't go there either. So 300,000 hours. And 300,000 is an important number for you guys this holiday season.
It is. We just announced our Giving Tree campaign, so it's currently live at the center right now. And so for every donation that we get of $300 or more, you can actually put your handprint on the wall, and we're allowing this tree to grow throughout the next year. And that goal of $300,000 equals the number of respite hours we've done over the last 30 years.
I cannot get over that. Now explain respite and why it is so important to the families you serve.
Yeah, so respite in short just means a break. So we're allowing families to have a break, usually about 2.5 to 3 hours. We do them twice a month so they can come, go to date night and stuff, and know that their children are having fun-based, center-based activities where they can meet with peers, have a great time with volunteers. And this is also unique because it's also their siblings that can have this break as well. So we have families coming together and allowing parents to kind of get that much needed break to go on date nights, to maybe go to the gym, maybe get some chores done around the house or go shopping. And it's a consistent center-based care. So these families know when they're going to have this break and they can look forward to it.
You know, Dave and I really stand behind this organization too. He and I emceed an event earlier in the year called the Ultimate Lip Sync Showdown, and it was a fundraiser for Family Respite Care of Nevada. And I bring that up only because it's amazing to see the work that you do and also the opportunities that you provide for not only families and children who need the respite care, but also you're a great location for our youth to volunteer at. So as people are looking for their high schoolers to find volunteer hours, walk me through that process.
Yeah, so volunteering is very, very important at Family Respite Care of Nevada. We try to do it one child per one volunteer. When we meet with our volunteers every day, we're talking about the child's individual diagnosis, what might ramp them up, what can ramp them down. And so we're really trying to create this fun buddy-buddy system where a kid can show up to the center and know that they're going to get the same individualized care with that volunteer to have as much fun as possible. And I cannot stress that it's all about fun. And today we're trying to really shine a light on the families who have some difficulties navigating some of these challenges with raising these children. But we're trying to be a light that shines bright for these families and let them know that we're here and we care.
And what I love about it, like you said, is that, okay, so parents can have a date night, or somebody can go and do their holiday shopping, or somebody can go and just do grocery shopping, right? And have a safe place for their family. And you aren't excluding all the children in the family. Every child in the family can come.
And that's why we're very, very unique, is because we allow the siblings to be there with them as well. And the most exciting thing about this as well is seeing kind of the kids interact with them. And that's really fun because you're able to meet your new friends and buddies, and we have these fun clips. I mean, we have karaoke, we have the chill zone, we have the Nintendo Switch, and the center itself, when you see these children show up to session, they just sprint right back to the back. They grab on their favorite Lego set, their favorite train set, and they're just there to play, and they can't get away from mom and dad soon enough.
Okay, so couple questions here. How does a family who needs Family Respite Care of Nevada get in touch with you?
Yeah, so everything right now, if you visit our website, frcnevada.org, we have an enrollment page on there. You can fill out a form and our family specialist will contact you and we'll actually have a one-on-one dialogue, learning more about your child and making sure that we'd be the best fit for your family.
And how has the need grown in the past 30 years?
So there's about 10,000 children at Washoe County that could qualify for our services. So the biggest thing that we can say is, let your family and friends know we have great relationships inside the Washoe County School District. We have special ed teachers that are kind of letting it know that we're out there, but we're really trying to be word of mouth and trying to bring some attention to the families and trying to grow. We switched it off right now, so we currently don't have a wait list. So we have about 10-15% capacity at the center right now. So if you have a family member or if you know somebody that can really benefit from our services, reach out. We'll meet with you right away and get you plugged in.
And I want to repeat that very important sentence. You took away the wait list and you do not have a wait list.
That is
right
100% correct.
Okay. Now, we just touched on how families can get connected to you. How can people who want to help you and help you reach that $300,000 goal get to you?
So I can say visit our website. That's boring. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. You can really see the joy of these children. We have wish list Wednesdays. So we have art supplies that are in need. We're currently can use some toys for the center as well. So just kind of pay attention to that, but please reach out to us through the website as well. You can kind of see how the tree has grown to date. So if you're looking to, it's as little as $30 a month. Can kind of get your impact really shown here at the center.
That's fantastic. And are you going to leave the tree up, you said?
It'll
it's
be
going
there.
to be an installation on the wall for years to come?
It'll be there for years to come, and you can see the hands grow throughout it. So we have about 12 sets of hands on there, and we have about another 15 people in the queue. So we're giving tours to people, showing them the center at its great use and what it does, because we're aftercare center based. So we're giving tours right now. So if you're curious to see what the center has in store, you want to see the wall in action, you want to see some of the fun activities and stuff that we have planned in our curriculum, we'd love to give you a tour.
Okay, so we've got your website, we've got your social medias. Where is the center?
It's right around the corner at 555 Reactor Way.
Okay, and a phone number?
775-737-3520.
Nice, that was a test.
That's a test.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I am so excited to have Marcia Cuddy-Brazel here, the executive director of I Got You Reno, and I am so proud of what you have done for our community in just a few years. Give us the history of I Got You Reno.
It is a very short history. Actually, we are only 2.5 years old, and we just became the first furniture bank in the state of Nevada. So in 2.5 years, we have gone from being in my garage, which my husband kicked me out of not long after we started, to having a 5,000 square foot facility in South Reno.
so proud of you. You recently broke ground on that location. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But I can speak from firsthand knowledge because I reached out to you through social media and actually did a delivery at your home.
Yes,
and
you
just
did.
coming from the standpoint of, family safety, security, etc. It's just amazing that you now have this location. So talk to me about how you sourced and got a physical brick and mortar space for I Got You Reno, and tell me about your event when you cut the ribbon.
It was so exciting, and it took so much work. And I want to say thank you to all of our volunteers who made this happen. I could not do this without them. We are an all-volunteer agency, so anyone who wants to come and help, please call us. We would love the help. We have so many opportunities for people to volunteer. But we started off, as I said, in my garage. Then we moved into what I thought was going to be a few storage units. Then we went into one small warehouse and got a second small warehouse, and plus the storage units. So this summer was the culmination of getting an actual space that people could come to. So we took everything from 2 small warehouses and 14 offsite storage units and put it all into this 5,000 square foot new space that we have.
And this new space, you broke ground in early December. This new space is not only a place for you to store this space, but can people come to it and ask you for help?
They can, but there's a process. We work with referring agencies. Those can be other nonprofits. Those can be churches. Those can be the school district. Children's Cabinet gives us referrals. We work with 27 state, federal, and local agencies at this point. And if you are in need of furniture, in need of household items, please have your caseworker send over a referral to us, and we will get you in the process of it.
And in this 2.5 years, you have gone from just you to, you mentioned all these volunteers. Talk to me about, how you started this village.
It is a village that is truly, truly built on love, because the people that have been with me the whole time, they would not be here if they did not love me. And I realize this because it is dirty sometimes. It's long hours. It's incredibly physical work sometimes, doing deliveries and loading trucks and all of those things. And I could not be more grateful to our volunteers.
So now we talk about what you do and how young you are, but why do you do it? What spurred it, and why I Got You Reno?
It started a long time ago. This was a long time in my brain thinking and percolating. A long, long time ago, back in 2004, I was a single mom raising 2 my older children, and I did not have any help at that point. And I ran into some financial difficulties, as most single parents do. It's a very common thing. It's a hard, hard job. And our electricity got shut off over President's Day weekend. It was a long weekend. And quite honestly, I didn't have the money to pay Nevada Energy, or I think it was Nevada Power back then. But regardless, I didn't have the money anyway. So the one thing that saved us was this little house that I was renting at the time had a fireplace. And so my 2 older children and I pretended we were camping, and they were young enough to buy that we were camping this whole weekend. And they put our food outside so it wouldn't spoil. And in Nevada in February, there's no chance that's going to happen. So we spent the weekend camping. And it was literally so much fun. And they both remember it as a good experience. But when I went back to work after the long weekend, I asked my boss for a pay advance. And he said, okay. He said, but do you mind if I ask you, what you need it for? And I was really nervous about opening up to him, but he had always been very, very kind. So I did. I told him, our electricity got shut off and I just need to get caught up on some bills. And he said, okay. He said, I'm going to help you. This will be a one-time thing. And I said, okay. And later on, I found out that he told a friend of his, and that friend of his and this person's wife, were coming to the office quite normally. And we had seen each other in the halls, whatever. And so one day that week after work, he said, I would like to help you and your children. And I said, after they told me what they wanted to do, I said, I'm sorry, I can't accept that. I don't know when I can pay it back. And he said, no. He said, we don't want you to pay it back. We want you to be able to be okay and move forward. but when you get a chance, you need to pay it forward. And so here I am. I'm paying it forward. And
This is so beautiful.
and
What a beautiful story.
that person is still on my board. And I made sure to include him because I don't know what would have happened. He changed the trajectory of my life. He literally did. And all it takes is one person reaching out and just being kind and just offering what you have. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes a simple act of kindness saying, is there something that I have that you could use? And it's not a handout. It was literally a hand up. And I am so eternally grateful for that because it just gave us kind of a reset. And it was literally what we needed at that very second. And it was so perfect. And
Now look at what you are doing now.
I'm paying it forward, girl. You know?
Oh my gosh. So if somebody wants to help you,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I am
I
like
know.
bawling. If somebody wants to help, I Got You Reno.
Yes.
What do they do? How do they get involved?
Okay. The first step is go to our website, please. Our voicemail gets full once to twice a day. You cannot even believe how much our phones are ringing, which is good. That gives us an opportunity to help more people. But go to our website. We have a contact button on our website that people can send in either a volunteer. They can tell us what kind of things they'd like to volunteer for. They can reach out to us with, hey, we have some furniture we'd like to donate, that kind of thing. We always need funding. Federal funding is very, very scarce and it can be withdrawn at any given time, it seems. So funding is phenomenal and anything helps. Anything helps. We take everything a household needs to be reset, from toasters and silverware to blankets and, bigger furniture like couches. And all we ask is that it's in clean condition. It's, it's ready to go on to its new home.
Marcia, thank you for everything that you do to serve community.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. What started as a personal tragedy has turned into a movement. This afternoon, David Bagno shows us how one teacher's motivation is literally changing her community for good.
At Hatboro Horsham High School near Philadelphia, Christina Ulmer has two roles. She's the 9th grade English teacher, and she's the kindness lady.
How can our voices elicit social change?
In 2018, Miss Ulmer started the $20 Kindness Challenge.
Here we go.
Every semester, Miss Ulmer gives her students $20 each to put toward a good deed of his or her choice.
I made bracelets for every elementary schooler. Each of them are grouped by grade.
Students will often throw in some of their own money or pool their 20s with classmates.
For my $20 Kindness Challenge, I donated to a nonprofit called Glad Dogs Nation.
They each have to make a video about what they've learned.
We went to Walmart to get food and we donated the food to St. John's Lutheran Church Food Pantry.
It made us feel like we had a bigger impact than just our budget.
Now we're gonna head to the nursing home. When we left the patient's room, we could overhear them talking about how nice it was and how much they liked the walker bags.
Here's the thing though. The very first stack of 20s that Miss Ulmer handed out actually belonged to someone else.
In 2014, my sister passed away in a car accident. And when we went to the car accident scene, my parents and I wanted something to hold of hers. And in her wallet, she had a stack of cash because as just a side job, my sister was a waitress. So she had all of her tips. And I wanted to do something with the money, but I didn't know what to do with it then.
So the cash sat in a drawer for years. Then in late 2018, it clicked.
I was teaching 9th grade English, and in that class, we read Fahrenheit 451. It's a dystopian novel. It takes place in the future. Everyone's obsessed with their screens. They don't care about each other. And I was trying to teach my students how the book is a warning of how we don't want to become like this society. And then the idea came to me to use my sister's money to teach that lesson, because my sister was always concerned with other people.
Turns out, Miss Ulmer wasn't the only one with a personal draw to the project.
I donated to Parkinson's Research, an association that helps out people who have it. My dad's been suffering from Parkinson's for about 10 years, and the effect that it has on him really inspired me to find something to do with that.
What do you hope your participation in the project signals to adults watching?
You know, they're older than us and they should be more mature, but they're not doing as much as they could be doing.
Since you didn't know each other before the project started, does it give you some semblance of respect for the person because you know they're participating in this?
Yes.
Yes.
To be a part of like this community in this class that performed like such a good thing for the world was just, it made her class a really welcoming space for me.
As word's gotten out, hundreds of donations have poured in, helping hundreds of students to do hundreds of good deeds over the last 6 years.
My name is Amy Smith and I work at Cesar Radney School District.
Teachers across America have reached out to see how they can start their own kindness project.
One of the best takeaways for me was the way that the students described how they felt. It made them light up.
Christina, I cannot thank you enough for the kindness that you have spread in memory of your sister.
But maybe the project's most grateful beneficiary has been the person who started this in the first place.
I can picture her, like every time the kids are doing something, I see her being like, yeah, that's awesome. I felt better, like for the first time. I was like, oh, that felt good. And every time the kids would share with me what they did, I felt a little better. This next generation, like, I don't know, to me, they're gonna save the world.
Wow, it just goes to show you that it doesn't take millions to change the world. Great job. Stay with us, we'll be right back. You are watching 2+ U Nevada, and I'm so excited to have Chris Poland here with 911 Restoration. And Chris, we are talking today about the restoration process and how if anyone has had any sheetrock work done or any of that drywall work done, you know how dusty it can be. And you guys really take into consideration if you have one area of the home that's getting restored or repaired, that you make sure the rest of the home stays clean.
Yes, absolutely. It's a big part of the process, similar to how painters do it. A lot of the process is prepping to make sure we protect your property. We're going to put up containments. We're going to seal off everything that we don't want dust in it, protect the floors. We're also going to set up like a negative chamber so that way all the air wants to come into that area versus the air wanting to leave. So we kind of set it up under a negative pressure to help protect the property, help protect the cleanup process. And
that sounds so mission impossible. It really does. But you brought us some pictures of a project that's really indicative of what we are talking about here today. So take a look and show us what we are looking at here.
What we're looking at here is a furnace leak up in the attic from the condensation line. So what happens is they start leaking over time and the intakes around that. A lot of the access is through the main hallway area. So it creates a lot of damage and it's a slow occurring damage. So we go off through the areas, we seal off all of the unaffected areas with zipper doors so people can get in and out, protect the floors, protect anything else that's in there. And then that way we can come in, do the proper drywall removal work, cleaning, disinfecting, and any proper drying that may be needed without affecting the other areas of the house.
Sure. And in this photo here that we're looking at, you're actually doing the work and it looks like there's that, what do you call that? The air vent. What is going on here?
In this process here, we removed the drywall. We're doing the proper cleaning. We're disinfecting a little bit of that vent. We've just unsealed that vent. We're going through making sure that that was cleaned properly as well, applying a disinfectant and a cleaning product, getting ready to go down and wipe down the whole room. That way we can get ready for a clearance.
And then after that process, we can see that there's some blue tape in that same area where they were just cleaning. Is this now that you guys have re-drywalled the ceiling?
This right here is us prepping, showing some of the areas that were damaged on the ceiling. This hasn't been re-drywalled yet. This is part of the scoping process, setting up the negative so we can kind of scope out the areas that do need to be removed. We have the negative air set up. We have the air filtration device going and all the containments and all of the rooms sealed off with zipper doors. So if you need to get access, you can still go in and out of those rooms as well.
That's great. Is this a part of the same project?
This is part of the same project. This kind of just displaying how we seal off fireplaces, bookshelves, proper floor protection, just part of the protecting your property process to ensure nothing else gets damaged. We're just there to do what we're there to do and try not to damage anything else.
And for a situation like this, because this is kind of what I would call a fairly common restoration project when you're talking about some sort of furnace leak, correct?
Absolutely. A lot of times the furnace leaks will happen in the summertime. So it'll, because you're firing up your air conditioner, they're up in your attic and stuff, or then the condensation drain line may leak, and so, or the pan may fail, and then that starts showing up when you're using your furnace a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a restoration like this, how long of a process would this particular kind of restoration be?
This process, I would say a day of setup, a day of demo, removing the drywall, probably start some of the cleanup process. It's a little smaller one. Then from there, we'll do all the, proper cleaning, stain removal, wiping down, HEPA vacuuming up of the areas, because we got to get every little mold spore out. Then once we feel like it's cleaned up, looks good, we call in for a hygienist. A hygienist comes in, does air samples, tape lifts to make sure that that area has been cleaned properly prior to us removing anything and doing any type of build back.
And the tape lift, that is so interesting to me because they're going in multiple locations of that particular restoration project, correct?
Yes, the hygienist is a third party. You always want to make sure you use a third party hygienist that's not associated with the company. We let our clients either pick one or we can give them a list or prefer one to them, and then they'll come in. And it's their job to say your house is healthy. So they want to make sure that they take care of you and that they do it all properly. So that way they can sign off it, say, hey, your house is cleared, it's been cleaned correctly. You can go on, and then they'll get you a certificate stating of all of the mold spores and all that it's still safe.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And as you just mentioned, this is kind of a common project that you have in the summer. So restoration happens all year round. With that, if somebody has to reach out to you, where do they go?
The best place, I would jump on Google or Yelp, and Google 911 Restoration Reno will pop right up. We have a lot of reviews, and we look forward to hearing from you guys. Or hopefully you never need to call us, but if you do, we will be ready.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. Are you a business or nonprofit and want to be featured on 2+U Nevada? Have a Mom to Mom Monday, a Tried It Tuesday, or even a cute pic you just want to show us? The whole point of 2+U Nevada is the plus you. You can send us your content by visiting our website. Head to 2news.com and click on 2+U Nevada. Or you can email us at 2+UNevada@ktvn.com. Now, you may remember last month we sat down with educators from Coral Academy Middle School. It was then that they told us the school was shooting for a world record.
We are the people of the United States, and in order to guard our big union.
Well, on Friday, the entire school, about 480 students and staff, participated in this We the People challenge. They're taking a run at the Guinness record for the most people to simultaneously recite a foundational legal text. The recitation coincides with America's 250th anniversary this year, and the plan was long in the making.
From the very first idea of this, it's taken 14 months to get here. In my class back in November of 2024, the students and I were talking about the preamble, which I have them memorized every year. And I don't know how it started, but we thought, could we turn this into a world record?
The preamble to the U.S. Constitution lays out some of the core virtues and desires of America's founding, like establishing justice, ensuring domestic tranquility, and promoting the general welfare. As for the potential record,
It typically takes Guinness a couple of weeks to respond. That's it for this edition of 2 Plus U Nevada. Thank you for inviting us into your home this afternoon. We look forward to joining you every weekday at 3 for 2 Plus U Nevada. 2 News Nevada at 4 starts now.